So we're seeing a lot of people who are now just starting to find their voice 2 years in to speak up against the genocide. And I'm not here to I will never discourage anyone from speaking up, okay? I'm not here to try and shame people for being late. I think a lot of people have been probably wrestling with their own shame for being late. Yeah, that's not, there's so much content on that, and I do kind of want to join the conversation on that a little bit, but not to discourage anyone, okay? Because firstly, we were all late. A lot of us were late. Even people who started speaking up 10 years ago were late, because this has been going on for 76 years. Let's not forget. Okay. This started in 1948 before any of us, not any of us, but before a lot of us were even born. So we were all late. I went to my first Palestine protest when I was 22. I'm now 40. Okay. So that's when I first started to find out about Palestine. And interesting tidbit, that's when I also learned that Hasidic Jews are completely anti-Zionist, because there was a group of them at the protest. This was when the embassy used to be in North London. And I was there with, because I used to do 9/11 truth activism with We Are Change London. So I was there with them, and I was just like, I saw basically a group of Heredi Jews who were also there. And I thought it was a counter protest, and I got a little bit scared. And I was just like, oh, damn, are they for Israel? Like, it's a counter protest. And they were like, no, don't worry. They're with us. And that's when I learned that Hasidic Jews are anti-Zionist, and that the Israeli state is not Jewish, and that it is actually literally against the Jewish religion to have its own national sovereignty. But that's a story for another time. We can get into that and go into the deeper things around that. But I didn't start speaking up publicly and consistently until October 7th, okay? And I will forever regret that, okay? I will forever regret that, okay? For those of you who, know me and have been following all my content will know that I literally took a whole year off working, and I was in the position to do so. I just got an insurance payout for a motorcycle accident, so I had money, and I was living in Mexico, where the cost of living is cheaper as well. So I was able to do that. Okay, I was supposed to be launching my Oracle fieldwork business, and I took a pause to speak up full time for Palestine, and also dove really, really deep into the research. Okay, I've got lots of offerings coming. It did initiate me more deeply into the work of channeling the mystery school temples, and I was researching the 12 tribes, and it was part of my work. But I wasn't really promoting my healing services or I took on a few new clients, but I wasn't really like trying to get clients or marketing my services. I was literally just speaking for Palestine. And it was because I felt so guilty that I didn't speak up when I knew what was happening. And so the people that are what I want to say today is that it's not on, whether we forgive people for being late or not. I don't think it's our call to make. It's not our call to make. That's for the people of Palestine, occupied Palestine, and particularly the people of Gaza, okay, who are the most heavily affected by this genocide, who needed us to speak up the most, okay? And obviously the people that have been martyred and their families who are left behind. It's on them to decide whether humanity should be forgiven for their silence. But ultimately, it goes even further than that. It's between everyone and God. Ultimately, it's between you and your creator. Okay, and this is why, even though I do have moments where I get a little bit angry, or I get a little bit cynical, where I'm like, somebody will start saying something and I'll be like, oh, great, that's awesome that, this person's saying this. And then I'll realize, like, I'll look at the content and realize that they literally just started speaking up now, 2 years in. And I feel a kind of a way about that. But ultimately it's between them and God. Okay. And, every single person will be answerable to their creator. Whether you want to call it Judgment Day, whatever your belief system is. I know what my belief system is, okay, because I'm an oracle that works in the quantum field. I had a spontaneous Kundalini activation when I was 25, okay, so I've had personal gnosis of creator, so I know what I believe, and I don't need to convince anybody else of that. If once you drop this physical body, if you want to go home and ultimately unify with creator, and all of us will ultimately seek that union, even if people don't know it yet, even if they don't believe in God right now, eventually we will all want to go back home. We'll all want to go back to the source from which we came. You will have to atone for every single thing that you did or that you failed to do, okay? And you will have to ask for forgiveness, and you will have to repent, okay? This is literally so key for the ascension journey. So it's not up to me. It's not up to you. It's not up to anyone to forgive anyone, okay? That's between a being and the Most High. So, if that brings you, it's definitely, remembering that has definitely brought me a lot of peace. It's also something to remember when you think about the people that have been complicit in the genocide. It's also a good one to remember when you think about the people that have been complicit in the genocide, who we all want to receive justice, that even if they don't receive, the kind of earthly justice that we want to see, war crimes tribunals and being imprisoned or whatever. And I'm sure some people want even more awful things to happen to them, which is, a normal human reaction to witnessing babies being blown up and burnt alive. Just know that they will have to repent, or they're gonna spend thousands of years in the outer realms, okay, in the darkness, in the hell realms, okay. I've popped out of my body so many times, okay. I've roamed around the astrals. I know what is beyond this physical reality. Again, I'm not here to convince anyone, okay. I've just experienced it. Many of you have experienced it. If somebody doesn't want to atone for their sins and the things that they've done, or the things that they failed to do that they were supposed to do, they will spend a lot of time, many, many years, hundreds of years, thousands of years in hell realms until they're ready to face themselves, okay, and face everything that they did or that they failed to do. So, I hope that brings you peace. And, for me, I don't want to discourage anyone from speaking up right now, okay, because everybody who's been speaking up is exhausted, okay? I know people who are deeply, deeply in the fight are not here repeating the same things over and over again on social media, okay? They're busy fundraising, creating mutual aid networks and fundraising for grassroots organizations on the ground. They're doing the real work, okay? Spreading awareness is great, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not knocking it, but I mean, the people I know who've been in it for years, okay, they're way too busy to be doing stuff like that. And, a lot of my friends who are speaking up since day one of the genocide, and myself, we've all had to go back to work and focus on things that got very, very neglected. When we were screaming from the rooftops trying to get people to pay attention to what was happening. Now more people are starting to pay attention. So, a lot of us are just like, okay, they're late, but, we'll just pass the baton because they are still needed. They are still needed. So I don't want to discourage anyone from speaking up. If you're one of those people who's been silent and you're only now, you want to start speaking up, but you're a bit nervous about being called out for your silence, you just gotta embrace it, okay? You gotta just accept it, and you just gotta ask God for forgiveness, ask the people of Palestine for forgiveness. I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of people are just grateful that more people are speaking up right now. So I do want to focus on that. I'm not going to be congratulating anybody for only just finding their voice. But yeah, Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag. What do you guys think? Okay, I know that everybody's got very mixed feelings about this, so feel free to share your views in the comments.